Okay, so back on the Porsche. I've got some tools, which I just showed in the other video actually. Some Torx bits where I can get into these nooks and crannies here, specifically intake manifolds. Very tight to get into. They're an E10 Torx fitting. I just wanted to do the test on the flywheel. So what I've done is made a mark on the flywheel itself, and with the right angle made another one on the clutch plate. And the test for a bad flywheel is if you can rotate it more than 15 millimeters in either direction, then it's bad. And also, if it doesn't spring back into place, then it's bad. But this one, when I bought it, the car, it had a new clutch, and you can see that's a Sachs clutch. But I've always had a problem with it, whereby when I'm sort of going over, maybe slowly over a sleeping policeman or something, then the clutch starts to burn. So I don't know what the problem is there. But I'm going to start by checking the flywheel. You can also, I don't know if I just said this, but if it doesn't spring back, I think I did just say that, if it doesn't spring back, then it's bad. But mine springs back well enough, but you can hear that noise. That is really weird. Doesn't sound good. It's like there's some crumpled up paper stuck in there or something. I wonder if it's a leaf, but how on earth would a leaf get in there? Anyway, so what I'm going to do, let me just grab a tape measure. I'm just going to rotate it as far as it will go. Where's my pencil gone? Here. And so if that's my mark, then I can rotate it to, yeah, this is obviously pretty difficult just with one person. Verging on the impossible. Hang on a minute. Gonna have to do it by eye. I guess by eye is going to be good enough. See, it just starts turning there. So actually, that doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Let's just check that, see if I've marked it off at the right place, which I have. And if I just measure that distance between the two, that looks pretty good, to be honest. So going from the 10. Ooh. Interesting. So that's 20 millimeters. So that's 5 mil out of spec. So I'm guessing that flywheel is toast. And I'm in two minds about that. I'm happy that it needs replacing because I like being able to replace stuff and make it better than it was. But these are quite expensive, as I'm sure most of you know. I think, I don't know, 500-600 euros for the flywheel, and then I'd obviously do the pressure plate and the clutch again. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I mean, this is 2016. This was last replaced. With not many miles. I mean, I've put literally maybe 2,000 miles on the car, if that, since I bought it. So I haven't put many miles on it. Let's have a look how far it goes back the other way. Probably exactly the same. Yeah, pretty much the same by the looks of it. A bit more actually, 22 mil. But anyway, there we are. So I'm probably going to take the pressure plate, clutch and the flywheel off, because I also want to check the rear main seal to see if that is leaking, although it was replaced in 2016. But yeah, I'm going to take this off now. Okay, so I thought I'd just video this coming off, to see what the clutch actually looks like. Okay, so I just loosened that very gently with the pry bar and it banged quite loudly. Gave me quite a shock. But anyway, that was. So here's one as well. Okay, whoopla. So, there it is. So, there's the clutch. Doesn't look too bad, actually. Doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, let's have a quick look at the pressure plate. Pressure plate, got some ridges in it. Oh, sorry. Don't know, what do you think of that? Doesn't look too bad, it's not that old. It does look pretty, quite some quite big ridges in there. That, and then let's get you down here for the flywheel. So the flywheel, I don't really know, to be honest. The flywheel, what do you think? The flywheel doesn't look too bad. I'm intrigued what that noise is. That does not sound good. It looks pretty beaten up in there. I'm going to take that off as well. Okay, so down to the last bolt here. It's already wobbling on there. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Look, there's some broken teeth there on the. Oh no, maybe that's. I don't know the flywheel on the Porsche, so maybe that's supposed to be like that. I don't see any remnants of any breakages, so clearly that's supposed to be like that. I don't know if it's bloody heavy. I can tell you that much. Don't know if I can tell you that looks like. How can I tell you whether that's an original part? 996, look 03, 01203. It has a number there. I can't tell you whether that's original or not, but I still can't see what, I don't know how much of you can see of this, but what that scraping noise is. That does not sound good. Anyway, that's that off. And get you in here. Just looking at that rear main seal, and it looks absolutely dry. I think, anyway. There's a bit of caking up here. Bearing in mind, 2016, this was swapped out, the IMS bearing for the oil-fed IMS bearing. What does that say? DOF, direct oil feed, that stands for. So that's good, but by the looks of it, it's not leaking. Cool. Okay, so just having a closer look at this clutch assembly here. See if I can get some light on it, but you can see that scoring in the pressure plate. I don't know if I can feel it with my fingers. Yeah, that's, you can really feel that. So I don't know what that comes from, but maybe they just changed out the clutch and they left the pressure plate in there. I've got, as I say, these markings here. I don't know if you can tell the date from there. Is that 10th month of 16 or 18? I can't tell you. What's this down here? don't think that tells us either. So either the date is in there or not. Maybe one of you can tell me. But again, this is a Sachs clutch. And just going around it, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's not worn badly. I mean, it's, you know, I wouldn't put it back in, obviously, but it's not too bad. But this, look, so one thing I noticed, these studs, these locating studs for the pressure plate, one's broken off there, and that wasn't that bang that you just that I heard earlier, because that's sort of got quite a bit of carbon on it and stuff, or dust, so that happened before. But this noise, what do you think of this? Weird. That probably shouldn't be there. So I'm guessing I need to replace. I'll replace all three of these items. It's going to be a big ticket item, but it's worth doing. Okay, so I just wanted to make a close-up video of what's going on here before I start cleaning it. So there's quite a lot of caked up oil around that IMS bearing, which is weird because the clutch, IMS and rear main seal were done at the same time. Is that normal? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to give this a good clean up. All looks pretty fine up there. But yeah, as I say, rear main seal looks pretty good. But I guess after 5 years of it being in there, it's probably worth doing it again. Okay. So I've moved a couple of smaller items, smaller brackets which are rusted. They're on the table over there, which I'll straighten them up and clean them up. But I've also been cleaning up this side a little bit because it is so caked in oil. But what I want to do now is I really want to get into this part here to see what's going on, because it's also really dirty. But to do that, I need to take the electrics off, or at least some of them. So I'm going to mark these up, take some pretty close-up photographs of where everything goes, and remove the electrics on this side. Okay, so I've just managed to thread all of the cables out from behind the fuel rail. I've marked them all up as well, and you can just see how caked up that is in there, and how dirty the wiring loom is. It's pretty bad, so I'm just going to try and clean that off a little bit, and yeah, see what's what. So just a quick note here, the two bolts holding on, or the hex, or the Torx bolts holding on the fuel rail to the air intake, one of them is an actual bolt, and the other one is the extension from the air canister for the exhaust system. So it's that which goes into that. Okay, so I've removed the fuel rail on the right bank, cylinders 1 to 3, and the only thing that happened when I pulled the fuel rail off, apart from fuel coming out, because there's quite a bit still actually in the pipes, the O-ring, each of these injectors has an O-ring at the top, black O-ring. This one was, well, it wasn't missing, but it wasn't on the injector when I pulled it out. These two were. It was stuck within the fuel rail, but I don't really know if that makes much of a difference. But I did notice this one was more wobbly than the other one. So I think there was an issue, there's been an issue with the O-ring on that injector. Maybe it had come loose, or because it was sort of stuffed quite far up inside that port on the fuel rail. So maybe that was my problem. But I'm replacing the injectors anyway, and what I'm going to do now is, so I can take this entire fuel system off the car, is do the same on this side like I did to the other side. Okay, so all of the Torx bolts which are holding in this intake manifold are all the same, and there are 7 of them, apart from this one which is shorter, and that one goes in there. Not in there, in there. Okay, so just having taken that last air intake manifold off, there's a little bracket there which goes onto this top water hose. And I just really wanted to show the setup of these hoses here before I take it off. This disconnects from there. This disconnects from there. I'm probably going to have to take this, undo this so I can get this out. Don't really want to take that off. That will disconnect from there. And this is important. This bracket fits between there and there and sits sort of some. Wait. I think it's. Yes, it's. Oh wait. Yeah, like that. See, the round follows that round. Okay, so I've loosened. Well, not loosened. I've removed all of the hex bolts holding on the air intake. And I've disconnected everything, photographed everything, noted everything, and I think this is about ready to come off, although we have one issue here. Okay. Okay. Now I've just spotted something else. Airlines. There are airlines all over this engine. Okay, maybe this is it. All right, one air intake plenum. Okay, so I just flipped over the air intake and plenum. Yeah, I want to replace all of these seals along here. They're quite greasy, so I'm wondering, you can see they've got like, I'm wondering if they possibly weren't. Look, there's on the mating face of the intake. There's quite a bit of I don't know. I suppose it's corrosion really, which is built up. So I seriously think that the seals weren't sealing properly. A bit rough along here as well. Look, some silt or whatever it is there. They're pretty grubby to be honest. And here there's oil there. That's that oil. And that's on the inside as well. And that is, I'm not really good at tasting stuff, but that is definitely oil. So that means there's oil on, which side was that? That is the left bank, looking at behind the car. Oh, that oil tastes disgusting. And yeah, so there's quite a bit of oil there. That's interesting. And also inside the, I don't know what you call it, the metal part of the plenum, or air intake manifold, there was quite a bit of oil in there as well. So who knows why that oil in there is why that oil is in there? Maybe the air oil separator is starting to go. That's a possibility. But if any of you know why there might be oil in there, whether that's normal or whether it's a sign of something, please let me know. But otherwise, I'm just going to give this a clean up.